let's also talk about commodities. A sharp recovery was seen in precious metal prices after gold and silver's rally screeched to a halt after running too far too fast. Gold cracked more than 10%. Silver plummeted more than 16% earlier today, only to recover sharply. My colleague Shreyansi, who closely tracks these commodities, joins us with more details on what really sparked that rally.
Well, absolutely. You've seen quite the recovery coming in when you talk about gold and silver prices. So when you talk about gold particularly, you do have prices that are down right now about 3.2%, but above that $4,700 an ounce level. Now, when you talk about silver as well, that has also had a very stellar recovery coming in. So 3.8% downtick is what you're looking at for silver, and it was previously down 16%. Gold was previously down 10%. So you can totally make out the magnitude of the kind of recovery that you've seen coming in when it comes to both of these metals. When you talk about the triggers, though, you do have a lot of volatility that is still persisting in the market on the back of the CME margin hike. Let's talk about that as well, because that's the #1 trigger why you've seen such a choppy session in trade coming in when it comes to gold and silver. You do have CME Group that has raised margins when it comes to COMEX gold and silver futures, and that is something that you saw being reflected very clearly in the prices. Now, when you talk about some of the other factors as well, yesterday's key tailwinds, in fact, are the headwinds right now. You do have de-dollarization, #2 on the list. In terms of triggers, you do have a stronger dollar and also an indication of a stronger dollar that has actually weighed on prices quite heavily. Now, when you talk about the third factor, you do have debasement trade, and that reversal, that unwinding, in fact, is something that you're seeing very clearly being reflected in prices, because those concerns about Fed independence are pretty much no longer there, and you can see that being reflected in prices as well. So that largely is the backdrop as well. Why it's going to remain volatile from here on is because you do have supply fluctuations on the back of the waves of hot money in China, also contributing to that domestic supply tightness when it comes to Beijing. So that's something that you're looking at in terms of factors as well going forward. And there's also speculation around higher premiums versus spot prices. So do keep an eye on the entire precious metals complex.